Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Always exciting to dig into some new material.
Absolutely. And today we're looking at blockchain.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good.
It is. There's been so much news lately.
So much happening. It's hard to even keep up.
I know, right? But that's why we're here.
To break it all down. Exactly.
And we've got some really fascinating articles to get through.
From some major players, too.
Yes. We're talking BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Mastercard, even some AI stuff in the mix.
Really feels like blockchain is moving beyond just like the crypto niche.
I think you're right. This isn't just about Bitcoin anymore.
Nope. This is about how blockchain could completely change how things work.
Like how we think about money assets, even creative work.
The whole system, it's pretty mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It is. So let's dive in. First up, BlackRock.
The biggest asset manager in the world.
Right. And they're expanding their tokenized fund, BID, beyond just Ethereum.
Yeah, they're branching out to Aptos, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Optimism, Polygon.
It's a mouthful.
It is. But that's a lot of platforms. What's the thinking there?
Well, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, are they?
Smart move. I guess BlackRock manages trillions of dollars.
So yeah, they got to be strategic.
They're just betting on one blockchain to win it all.
So a future with like different blockchains all working together.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah, each one maybe serving different needs.
makes sense. It's like different tools for different jobs.
Exactly. You wouldn't use a hammer for everything.
Good point.
Yeah.
But does this mean Ethereum is in trouble?
Maybe. It's been the leader for so long.
Right, everyone thinks of Ethereum when they hear blockchain.
True. But it does have limitations.
Like what?
Scalability, transaction costs can be high, things like that.
And these other platforms are trying to fix that.
Exactly. And BlackRock seems to see potential there.
Interesting. They also talk about tokenization opening up investing for more people.
Yeah. Making it easier and faster for everyone to get involved.
But how does that actually work?
Okay, so imagine you want to invest in something expensive.
Like a really fancy piece of art.
Yeah, something you couldn't afford on your own.
Right, makes sense.
Tokenization could divide that art into tiny digital shares.
So like instead of buying the whole painting,
You could buy a little piece of it.
I get it. And those pieces are tokens on a blockchain.
Exactly. And those tokens can be traded easily.
So it's like buying and selling stock, but for things like art.
Exactly. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
I'm seeing the potential here. So BlackRock is changing how we invest.
Definitely. But what about how we actually move money itself?
Good point. Citi is trying to make payments borderless.
They're looking to blockchain to make it happen.
And they call it the holy grail of payments.
I mean, it would be revolutionary, wouldn't it?
Totally. Sending money overseas is such a pain.
So slow, so expensive. It's ridiculous.
Totally reliant on old systems.
Blockchain could cut out the middleman, make it instant and cheap.
Okay, now we're talking, so this would be huge for families.
Oh, yeah. Imagine sending money to loved ones overseas instantly.
No more waiting weeks for transfers.
And think about businesses operating internationally.
Yes, so much of global trade relies on these clunky systems.
Exactly. Blockchain could streamline everything, make it so much more efficient.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Are there any downsides?
Well, regulation is still a big question mark.
Governments haven't figured out how to handle all of this yet.
Yeah, it's new territory. And it makes some institutions hesitant.
They don't want to jump in before they know the rules.
Exactly. We need clear guidelines for sure to ensure security and prevent any funny business.
But we also need to make sure those rules don't stifle innovation.
That's the balance we need to strike.
It's a tricky one. But it's clear that blockchain is shaking things up.
And we're just getting started. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. Next up, we'll look at how Goldman Sachs is building a whole marketplace for the future.
And it's all about tokenized assets.
Stay tuned. So before the break, we were talking about how blockchain could really change global payments.
Yeah, making them borderless and seamless.
Huge implications there. But now let's talk about Goldman Sachs.
Oh yeah, they're making some big moves too.
They are. They're actually spinning off their digital asset platform into a whole new company.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It is. And this new company is all about tokenized assets.
That's right. They're building a marketplace for the future.
Okay, so we talked about tokenization a bit earlier with BlackRock.
Right, with their BUIDL fund.
But maybe we need a quick refresher.
Yeah, for sure. It could be a tricky concept to wrap your head around.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So how would you explain tokenization to someone hearing about it for the first time?
Okay, so imagine you have something valuable.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, a vintage guitar.
Okay, I like it.
It's worth a lot of money.
But you don't want to sell it.
Right. But you could tokenize it?
Create digital shares that represent ownership of the guitar.
Exactly. And then those shares could be traded on a blockchain platform.
So instead of one person owning the whole guitar,
You could have multiple people owning a piece of it.
and those pieces are represented by tokens.
That's it. It's fractional ownership.
I get it. And this could apply to all sorts of things.
Well, yeah, not just guitars.
Like real.
Real estate, fine art, collectibles.
So instead of needing millions to invest in those things
You could buy a tiny fraction of them.
and potentially profit if the value goes up,
Exactly. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
it sounds like it could really democratize investing.
That's the goal. Make it more accessible to everyone.
So Goldman Sachs is definitely thinking big picture here.
Oh, yeah. They're not just focused on collectibles, though.
Right. They're also targeting more traditional assets,
Like U.S. funds and European debt markets.
trying to bring traditional finance onto the blockchain,
Exactly. They see a big future for this.
especially for tokenized U.S. treasuries.
That seems to be a hot topic lately.
We talked about it with BlackRock, too. Why are they such a big deal?
Well, they're seen as a safe and stable investment.
But traditionally, they've been limited to big institutions.
Exactly. But tokenization changes that.
Makes them more accessible to individual investors.
Right. Suddenly, anyone can potentially invest in treasuries.
So how would that work in practice?
You'd go through a platform that offers tokenized treasuries.
Yeah.
Choose how much you want to invest. Complete the purchase digitally.
So it's like buying stocks online.
Pretty similar. The platform handles all the technical stuff.
So it wouldn't need to be a blockchain expert to do it.
Nope. They make it pretty user-friendly.
That's good to know.
Hmm.
So we've got BlackRock and Goldman Sachs going all in on tokenized assets.
Yeah, it's a trend we're seeing across the board.
And then you've got Mastercard and JPMorgan teaming up,
Merging their blockchain payment solutions.
Mastercard's multi-token network and JPMorgan's Connexes.
A powerful combination.
It feels like a huge vote of confidence in the technology.
When two giants like that join forces, something's up.
And they're specifically targeting business-to-business payments,
Even across borders.
which is a huge market.
And a really inefficient one right now.
Yeah, international BDB payments are a nightmare.
Slow, opaque, expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess.
Blockchain could change all that.
Make it fast, transparent, and affordable.
That would be a game changer for so many companies.
Especially small businesses trying to compete globally.
But what about the existing financial system? Will it just disappear?
That's the big question. Some think blockchain will completely replace it.
Others think they'll coexist.
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely shaking things up.
It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift.
In how the whole global financial system operates.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about the mindset, the way we think about money and value.
It's about moving from centralized control to a more decentralized system.
One that's transparent and based on data integrity.
This is getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
But I'm curious,
How about?
are there any real-world examples of blockchain being used beyond finance?
Oh, tons. Finance is just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, give me an example.
Supply chain management.
How's that?
Blockchain can track goods as they move around the world.
So, like, I could see where my coffee beans came from.
Exactly. You could trace them all the way back to the farm.
That's cool. Consumers are demanding more transparency these days.
And blockchain can provide that. It can verify authenticity and ethical sourcing.
What about other industries?
Healthcare is another big one.
How so?
Blockchain can securely store and share medical records.
So it's about making healthcare more efficient.
And more patient-centric, giving patients more control over their data.
That's a big deal. It seems like blockchain has the potential to touch every aspect of our lives.
It really does. It's a foundational technology.
But are we getting ahead of ourselves here? Is this all hype?
There's definitely hype, but there's also real substance.
Blockchain's core principles are incredibly powerful.
Decentralization, transparency, immutability.
Those have the potential to change everything,
But we need to be realistic about the challenges, too.
like security and privacy.
Exactly. We need to address those head-on.
So it's about finding that balance.
Between cautious optimism and realistic expectations.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have, from BlackRock to Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Mastercard, JPMorgan, even AI.
It's mind-boggling, but there's one final frontier we need to explore.
Oh, and what's that?
The possibility of tokenizing everything.
Ah, yes. The fully tokenized world.
It's both exciting and a little scary.
It is. Imagine everything of value existing as a token on a blockchain.
Your house, your car, your ideas,
It's a radical concept.
with enormous potential but also some real risks.
We need to talk about those for sure.
We do. So let's dive into that after a quick break.
Sounds good. I'm ready to explore the fully tokenized world.
So we're back and ready to explore this idea of a fully tokenized world.
It's a big one, isn't it? Kind of hard to even imagine.
It is. It's like taking everything we've talked about and turning it up to 11.
Exactly. It's tokenization on a massive scale.
But let's start with the potential benefits.
Okay, so imagine a world where ownership is crystal clear.
Like no more disputes over who owns what.
Exactly. It's all recorded on the blockchain, immutable and transparent.
So everyone can see it. No more shady backroom deals.
And transactions could happen instantly,
No more waiting for paperwork or approvals.
cutting out the middlemen, lowering costs.
So it's about efficiency, transparency, trust.
Exactly. And it could open up so many opportunities.
For investment, for entrepreneurship.
Remember those tokenized guitars? Imagine that for everything.
Okay, I'm trying. So I could own a piece of a solar farm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or invest in a startup. Support an artist directly.
All through tokenized assets.
It could democratize access to so much.
Things that were previously out of reach for most people.
Exactly. It could level the playing field.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. But let's be real.
What's that?
There's got to be downsides. What could go wrong?
Well, security is a huge one.
If everything is represented by a token.
Those tokens become prime targets for hackers.
Yeah, it's a lot of eggs in one digital basket.
We need some serious cybersecurity to protect all that.
And what about privacy?
If everything is tracked on a blockchain,
Do we lose control over our personal data?
that's a valid concern. It's a trade-off.
Transparency versus privacy. We need to find the right balance
Systems that protect sensitive information.
while still allowing for an open and auditable ledger.
It's a challenge, but it's not insurmountable.
And what about inequality? Could this make things worse?
It's a risk. We need to make sure tokens are distributed fairly.
So everyone has a chance to participate.
Otherwise, we just create a new digital divide.
So there are a lot of things to consider.
Definitely. It's not all sunshine and roses.
But it's clear that blockchain is a powerful force.
It has the potential to reshape the world as we know it.
From finance to healthcare to maybe even everything.
It's about decentralization, transparency, trust.
It's about empowering individuals, giving us more control over our lives, our data, our future.
It's a technology that could change everything.
But ultimately, it's up to us to decide how it's used, to make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
That's the challenge. And the opportunity.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
From BlackRock's multi-chain bets to Citi's borderless vision,
Goldman Sachs, tokenized marketplaces, Mastercard and JPMorgan.
even blockchain's role in AI, and the potential for a fully tokenized world.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, and I think the key takeaway is this.
What's that?
Blockchain is more than just a technology.
It's a shift in mindset, a new way of thinking about the world.
It's about decentralization, empowerment, trust,
And it's up to all of us to shape this future.
to make sure it's a future that works for everyone.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep pushing the boundaries.
Because the future is in our hands.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of blockchain.
And until next time, stay curious.